So my father, from the age of sort of 7 upwards, would bring back a group of his friends, and I knew them all. And in my culture, you don't say names, you say uncle or auntie to anyone that's older than you. And they would come and they would eat and they would drink. And my father owned a lot of pubs. So my father was the place to go to because he had the alcohol. And, you know, he would come back from the pub and my mother was the one who would wake me and say, go down. She would go back to bed and I would go and cook rice and chapatis and chicken and some vegetables, and I would take them on a tray. Then I would sit on the bottom of our large wooden staircase waiting for them to finish because my father didn't like mess. And when I got to 14, my mother woke me up, and instinctively I had this horrible feeling. I remember taking the food in and waiting, and I remember thinking I don't want to go and pick the dishes up because they were exceptionally loud. They'd started to bring bottles outside. My father used to put the empty bottles outside, and there was bottles of Johnny Walker all lined up. And then when I did get the call, I went in with the big tray that we had. It was a big white tray, probably bigger than me, and he grabbed my wrist and the tray fell down. And he was the first person to throw me onto the table and rape me. I didn't know what was happening. I was too young. I closed my eyes. But I lived without the ability to see, so I knew each person's sound of who it was, each person's touch almost. And it was a very horrific attack by 7 or 8 men on me. And I was thrown from person to person. I was beaten, I was bitten. And eventually I must have passed out. And when I came to, it was because my mother opened and closed the door and woke me up. And I remember not having my bottom part of my clothes on, and I was literally lying in a bath of my own blood. And the first thing I thought about was, there's food everywhere, on the walls, on the floor, and I'm going to be in so much trouble. I didn't actually give myself any consideration because I believed I wasn't worth anything, because that's what they had taught me from birth to believe.